You haven't seen that though? The AI ladies?
No.
I seen a video like maybe like 2 days ago, and it was explaining like step by step how to create accounts with fake using specific AI generating programs that you can download for free. And then you just take images and then it like mixes people's faces together to come up with one girl, like a AI girl. She looks like a real person. And then it can generate backgrounds. It can generate like weird positions for like photography. And then it will generate an image, and then you can. Sometimes the image won't be perfect, like the finger will be all fucked up, and you can just highlight it, and it will regenerate it so that it comes out to look straight, good, yeah. And then people use these images and give the person an age, a description, like a bio, and it will give them personality, likes and dislikes, and then they'll make a profile out of it, and they'll post just like a normal person and write,
automatically.
No, they write. This is
them. You post for them. Yeah, okay.
Controlling the account, saying like, like beach selfie or some shit, right? And it's some dude that's behind
posting it.
Yeah, posting it, and then on the description it will have an OnlyFans. And it will have like nude pictures, same generated AI stuff. And they were like, people are making 10 G's a month.
I believe it too. And then it's like, when you say that, it makes me think of like catfishing gonna be crazy. Because if you don't know no more, it's a trick.
Yeah. Do you think it should be regulated? Like, you think this is bad? Like you think this is a bad road? Like, you think anything good? Because I feel like we don't know yet, but I feel like maybe this, like, there's going to be some good that comes out of this somehow, whether it's like entertainment wise.
Yeah, because they're using AI for video games and to help speed the process of the game making. But when you're using it, like, it's weird that you can monetize that. Because right now, I don't know how, because it's all generated. Who owns that generated image? Right, that's why it's like, or does anybody own it, or the company who generated that image owns it, or how does that work?
I don't know. And how does one lay claim to an image? How do you do that?
What do you mean?
Like, how do
you copyright an image?
Yeah, how do you copyright it?
There's ways to go about it. I don't know exactly how, but there's ways to go about it. Just like there's ways to copyright music and stuff.
So it'd be like an NFT, huh? There's copyrights to that, huh? Somehow you can get it to that 100% it's the original. You're the owner of the original, whatever the fuck.
I don't know how it works with images, but yeah, like if people are making money off that, like, is it really like, because it's like, it's almost, if you're paying for this shit, right, you're kind of a fool.
So you deserve it.
I'm not saying you deserve it, but I'm just saying like, why would you pay for it in the first place? So it's like, because people will say, like, if women, it's the same thing, right? Like, if women are, like, the women are making so much money off of OnlyFans, right? But it's the males who are purchasing it. So people are like, oh, look, they're talentless, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
They're demonic.
Yeah, like this and this and this. But it's the males who are fucking buying this shit and creating this. So the males are creating this because the demand is there. And all the girls are doing is capitalizing off of it. And I mean, that's what people do. They capitalize off of everything.
So it's not, so okay, so I never thought about it like that. So then that means that women don't have full blame.
It's like, right? You know how there were the argument, I think Shaq or somebody said this, but you know how the argument of nobody watches women basketball, right? Nobody watches women's sports and shit, right? Then they were like, people were saying, why don't you women rally up and watch the shit? You guys watch it to raise the numbers. You guys not even watching it. Women are not even watching women basketball. Yet they're complaining about the rates are not there.
But how many
men watch men shit? Men watch the basketball games for men, the football games, hockey, freaking
You
NASCAR.
don't think that it's a man thing? Sports is more like, if you think about women, the majority of it's like there's more men that enjoy watching sports than there are women.
Well, then why is it a problem then?
Because men like watching it at the highest caliber, as far as like entertainment and
No, I know, but that's
athleticism.
what I'm saying. But for women, why is it a problem then? Or why is it a thing of like it's not there? Like, it
Because
should be
there's
there.
only there's a pool of so many people that enjoy watching sports, and let's say 80% of them are males, 20% of them are women. So let's say the women, that those 20% of women, let's say 18% of them are actually watching the women's basketball league and following it and doing all that. But it's not going to be nowhere near the numbers that the males are, because all the males are watching the
I'm
regular.
aware of that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why is it a big deal if they're trying to do that?
Why is what a big deal?
Like that people are not watching women basketball or whatever.
Oh, they're trying to they're making it a big deal that nobody watches.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
okay.
if a woman is making a big deal out of it, but they're not themselves supporting it, it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, then watch them. But it's like either that, or you have to find a way to make men watch it. And
so back to the freaking
the
AI OnlyFans ladies. How do you fix that? Or not? Well, like what? Like how could, because obviously if the male are the people purchasing the majority of them.
Well, it's because I think it would have to be OnlyFans going through a verification process or something. This is a real human. And then even that, and then it opens the conversation, do men even care if it's AI or not? That opens that up too, because if they don't, then why should people stop it? If they're selling you a service, right? They're selling you a service, you're paying for it. As long as you're satisfied, what's the problem? So I guess it's not really like a bad thing. You're paying for it. Unless some people are paying for it and not getting what they paid for, then that's a scam.
But do you
Then
not
it's a
think
problem.
that is, well, in general, is it not a problem for the males as a whole? As like human males as a whole, to be a consumer of OnlyFans, like to be a consumer of OnlyFans, you think as a whole, is it damaging to males, maybe, and females of the world?
Yeah, but outside of even AI, right? But then we're just going on what's morally right. But that's already out the window, so that's not really like that's not gonna go nowhere. And people argue like we're living in a day where everything is over sexualized. Everything is, and it's because when they monetize that, they get money. Everybody, even ads, even mobile games. Have you ever seen the mobile games now? And I think that's a problem, because it seems like, who plays mobile games? I don't know the facts, but it seems like kids are more than adults. I don't know if that's true. We'd have to look that up. But if it is, the fact that that shit pops up on YouTube, kids are on YouTube. So now we're like, oh, so you're selling this shit to the kids. You're selling sex to kids and pulling them by that. So that's wrong.
For money.
Yeah, and that's wrong. That should be, what would that be? What would that be called?
As far as a crime?
No. That should be like
illegal?
Regulated, or what is that called?
Yeah, like checked.
Yeah, checked, and like people making sure that, hey, you can't do this shit on advertisements. You can't do that.
They did that shit for gambling for the longest. Shit was illegal to online gamble.
Or it should pop up like a rating on the advertisement. And if you don't meet the criteria as a kid, you know how when you click on a video, it should be like, you can't watch this ad, or it just doesn't even show it to you.
Or you can even if it's a requirement for, like, you have to have ads, right? Because every YouTube,
won't play those.
At least give them, the parents a choice for what type of ads are they promoting for kids. Like, if it's a kid, just like any parental guidance fucking settings, well, you could be able to pick the ad at least so that it's not freaking shit that kids shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, because it's not. But it makes me think, because that's like I told you, if nobody's complaining, like who's gonna say something? I think if people start using AI to catfish motherfuckers, I mean that can be dangerous, right? Because like, say I want to get to you, people always use women to get to dudes. So say I want to get to you, and somehow I can create a false person. Now it's not even another witness, because it's AI. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could track that shit. But say I create a false AI and get you to believe that this person is real, get you to meet me up somewhere, and then I smoke your ass.
I think that is a possibility. I think people will do that.
Because I remember like not too long ago on Snapchat, I kept getting friend requests. And one thing I didn't like about Snapchat is that I can't see a picture. So I don't know. Some names sound familiar, but I don't know if that is who I think it is. And so I'm like, well, I'm left with, I don't know, because all I see is their little emoji, the Bitmoji shit. So I don't know. So then I end up adding them, and then they'll send you a video, and it's just a girl, right?
Onlyfans.
And it's just, and they're not asking anything, right? They're not asking anything. They just send you a video. Then they'll send you another video, and then another video, and then they'll say, "Want to see more?" And then
$10.99,
and they'll hit you with that. And it's like, but I mean, I guess that if they're doing that, it has to be fooling people, because right away I know who's gonna send you that. Like,
I know, and for I for sure 100%. It has to prove. It has, to this point. It has provided enough revenue for them to continue doing it, huh?
Yeah.
Because somewhere down the line they were like, "This is nobody's doing this, and my numbers are going up."
And money, it's because I feel like there's a lot of ways you can make money that I feel like I could even tapped into. With the knowledge I know about technology, I could have tapped into it and made money. But I see that as wrong, so I don't do that. I could do that too. I know how, like, I could, if you're on that fuck shit, you could figure it out. But it's just like, nah, this is wrong. Or like people who will be calling older people and threatening them with fucking, I'm the IRS and shit. That even happened to us.
Yeah, and people who have been getting a lot of calls lately about people telling me to sign up for, "Hey, do you own a Jeep? Like 2002 Jeep?" Or they'll tell me random cars, and then because I've already talked to these people like a million times, and they'll call me throughout a bunch of Michigan numbers, and they'll tell me if I'm interested in an extended warranty for my car, that just a random car, and I'll be like, "No, I don't own that car." And they're like, "Well, what kind of car do you own?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't own a car right now. I just sold it." And she's like, "Is anybody in your home own any car?" And I said, "No, I don't live with anyone. I'm homeless." And she's like, "Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you for your time." And then she hangs up. But that's what you got to tell these motherfuckers, because if you tell them anything, they're gonna call you. You're gonna try to sell you something.
Yeah, and there's people who come to your door. Because I remember one time a girl came to the door, and she said something about the electric bill, and this was a couple of years ago. And and she's like, she told me, "Are your parents here?" And I was like, no. And then she's like, "Well, I just wanted to see how much you guys were paying for the electricity bill. I work on behalf of something, I don't know." And she's like, "If you don't mind having a conversation or something like that, or at least let me know when your parents will be here, give them a call, whatever." And I was like, I'll call them. And then I told her, I said, "Oh, they're not here. They're not gonna be here. Maybe they'll be here tomorrow or some shit." And then I called my sister and I told her, and she said, why you telling them to come back? To anybody who comes to you, they're soliciting. She said the electric company will never come to your house like that, ever. So next time somebody comes, just deny them and let them go. And I remember feeling like, oh shit, this girl played my ass. Because she was trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell you some type of service, some type of something. And I feel like that you can't, there's certain places where you can't do that, huh? No soliciting. But that should be a standard, I think.
People always, the door-to-door salesman type shit. It's no longer a thing.
It is a thing.
Well, it's a rarity.
I think that, but what like, it makes me think because I know there's people who like pressure wash and clean windows, who come to you and be like, "Oh, want me to clean your windows? I'll charge you where in the area, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, should that not be allowed? Because if we're just looking at it at these weird people who are trying to sell you some bullshit, that's different than somebody actually trying to sell you a real service.
But I think people who come and try to upgrade your outdoors is different. It's like a different feeling from people coming to try to upgrade. Like, hey, I was a car wash, or I'll wash your house, or clean your roof, or clean the grass, cut the grass. Stuff that's outdoors seems more. It doesn't sound as bad when someone comes and tries to do work, some type of physical work or service outdoors. But when they want to come inside your house is when people get a little sketched out. As you should, because it's a stranger. Why would you want them in your house? If you came and you provided some type of booklet where it gave them an understanding of what you did.
Sometimes they like to display their product though. Sometimes they come with vacuums and they're like, "Shit cleans up anything."
Yeah, but coming into the house is a thing where people get
it's a problem, huh?
Yeah, if you say you just come and say, "Hey, here, this is my business card, right? This is what I do. If you would like, I'll clean, let's say to clean your driveway or cut your grass. I'll cut your grass for free today. I'll cut it. Here's my business card. If you like it, you call me. If you don't, you never call me again. I'll cut your grass. Is that something you'd be interested in, right? Who's going to say no to a free grass cutting?
Certain people will, because some people believe certain things are too good to be true. So they're like, no.
But imagine if everything went smooth exactly. There was no strings attached, how usually there is. But because let's say this was your business, if you went and did exactly what you said, and didn't speak to them again, didn't knock, after you were done, we'll put your shit up, and then you left. Right? The people who were like, "Oh, this motherfucker cut my grass," and then prices, everything was all located on a pamphlet, so they didn't have to call you and say how much you charge for this, whatever. Everything was located there, nice and easy to read. And then if they're like, "Yeah, I fuck with this dude," and they call, "Okay, hey, it could be my every 2 weeks or whatever." It seems like that people are more interested when you're 100% honest and everything goes exact. None of that fucking. Because the lady one time that came in here that was like, I just want to show you how clean this vacuum is, and I'll clean your carpet, your rugs, the couch. And then she was trying to show me she pulled out how much shit the vacuum was sucking out, and she's like, "Oh, this is how effective it is." And she's like, "I sell it to you for $1,299 right now. We're having a promotion, so it's on sale, so it's actually $1,000." And then I'm like, "No, I'm not interested." And then homegirl's like, "Well, let me call my boss." "Oh, I'll give it to you for $800. It's a
yeah,
final
it seems like they
offer."
don't know how to take no, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, bro. And then that's why I'm like, I don't want, then the next time I don't want anything to do with any motherfucker selling me anything.
People get hella angry. People get hella angry when you do stuff like that, or even leave like a pamphlet at their house though. If you leave something at their house, people get mad at that. Or if you put things on top of their car.
Oh, yeah.
I remember back in the day when I used to make CDs. I thought about like taking my CDs and going to Walmart and just putting them on the windshield wipers of the cars, but I never ended up doing it. But is that illegal?
No, I don't think so.
To put CDs in people's cars?
People put papers.
Yeah, but people get pissed off. Because I know people personally who did that, and then people saw them and were like, "What the heck you doing? Like, get that shit off my car." So people get mad. People get mad for a lot of things.
People are.
But it does, yeah. But it does seem like in your house you should be left alone. If anywhere, your house should be like a no-go zone. Like you shouldn't go to nobody's house unless you're invited there or you're delivering packages.
Have you ever seen the people who? There's a guy on YouTube that goes around and goes to random neighborhoods in the hood, out of the country, wherever, and he just tries to find people to cook for them.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And I seen one of the videos. He went to Compton, and he was like, he went to a church at first, and he was talking to the people at the church, saying like that what his plan was and what he was trying to accomplish for the day. It was like a Sunday, and they told him, "Oh, it's not a good idea to go in Compton. It's not a good idea, especially because you guys are two white guys going around in the hood and just knocking on random people's doors." And it's not a good idea. And they were like, okay, so let's try to find somebody at the church. And then they weren't successful. So they said they had to go door to door. And I'm like, imagine those guys coming here, knocking on our door. You answer, homie hits you with, "I'd like to cook for you today."
Well, it's different for me because I don't live by myself. And I just feel like I can't allow anybody in, because then even if it's a minor risk, I could take more risk when I'm alone than when my family's here. I can't take no risk, because then if something was to happen, and like, yeah, I get it from the outside perspective, it's like that's mean, but it's like nowadays you can't trust nobody. Now, if I live by myself, I would let them in. You know, there's people who do it for fun, like during Thanksgiving. They go and knock and see if knock. They answer the door and say, "I don't have nobody for Thanksgiving, and I live in the area, and I just want to know if I can hang out with y'all." And majority of people say no. Yeah, the majority of people say no, but then there's a couple dudes who are like, "Yeah, sure, come in." And you see that kindness, and you're like, "That's how it should be. That's how it should be." But then I guess you just always taking a risk. But it's like, do you allow risks? And I mean, when it comes to my life, I allow risk. But when it comes to family members' life, I allow no risk. It's just like when I'm in the car and I'm driving by myself, I might be driving a little bit more recklessly than I would if my brother was in the car or whatever. So that's why I think it's an interesting thing, though, that they're willing to do that, though. Did they find anybody?
I didn't finish it.
Oh.
I didn't finish the video, but it seems kind of like brave to do that, because it must be uncomfortable than the motherfucker. You must be a really good people person to begin with, right? But to go into a stranger's home, because you think the majority of people that you go see are gonna be worried about you, right? That's how you think it'd be. But I wonder how much thought goes into you being worried about them. Because if somebody invites you in, yeah, no problem, I come in. And he's a murderer, yeah, I come in, no problem.
Yeah, but I think most people are good.
Yeah, you would think. But
I think even when you go to the hood, it makes it worse that you got a camera. Because now it's you, and then you got a cameraman. Anybody from the streets would be like, "Who the fuck is this motherfucker with a camera?" Now, I'm pretty sure some people won't open. But that's because you never know how people might take that.
Yeah, because people are not always logical in their thinking.
Then people are doing drugs in the streets. So if somebody's already in cuckoo land and he sees you, thinks you're the cops, and just shoots you. Now, I think we're going further into hypotheticals. And like, what are the chances of that really happening, right? And I guess you got to take risks in life.
But I think that's because they did that with rich people. They went to Austin, Texas, and they went to where all the millionaires' houses are. They started going door to door, knocking on people's houses. And one of the girls, one of the ladies that answered through the little microphone, you know how they have a gate?
Yeah.
And she answered, and she's like, so you just come and knocked on random strangers' houses in my neighborhood and expect me to let you in for you to cook for me? And the guy's like, yeah, it sounds a little odd, but we're just trying to make connections and let people know that we're trying to find the good in people and tell them that be more open-minded when it comes to socializing. And the lady's like, she's like, I have 3 guard dogs and I have a bunch of guns here. Do not come on my property again. And the dude's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you're bound to find those people, though. You're bound, but
is she wrong, though?
It's just because, like, if we look at her perspective, if there's 2 guys,
because what's the best you get out of it? A good meal.
Yeah,
you can get a good meal on your own.
Yeah.
So it's like, and what's the worst outcome? What if these motherfuckers get in and they try to rob you?
And if she's home alone, it's just not. It's just, and then it
It's just,
sounds weird.
That's just how the world is now. You can't trust nobody now. So you always have to assume the worst. Yet when you do that, you can miss out on just kindness in the world. Because I don't know if it's fear. I guess it's because of fear. But I think, like I said, when your loved ones live here, you can't open no risk.
Yeah. If yeah,
it's like I said, like, I don't know if we talked about this before, but if somebody comes in the middle of the night asking for help, 2 a.m., knocking on our door, banging on our shit, and you yell at him, what do you want? And he's like, help me, please, somebody's chasing me. To let you in, I can't do it. And it's like, and it sounds fucked up, but the reason it goes back, I can't do it because people are in here. You know, and if I let you in, I don't know who's after you. If they're gonna get you,
yeah. If they're like, we're coming in.
They're coming in. We're gonna get them regardless.
Yeah. And then that becomes your problem.
It becomes your problem, and it sounds fucked up to say that because it's almost like, you know, I gotta take care of me. Even though you can let them in and then maybe the guy runs away, but it's like you're rolling the dice.
And you don't know if it's a setup, and
then people do that shit on purpose.
They're just trying to get inside. And it's too much risk, especially like you said, if your family's here. But even if you're alone, I wouldn't trust it because how late at night it is. And you would have to be strapped up. And as soon as they come in, I would put them on the floor and I would handcuff them.
Damn. No, I was thinking because like if I was gonna do something like that, maybe let somebody in, I think we would have to have guns on us. And then not only that, I would have to say, if you want to come in, I have to search you first.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
You had to have guns.
I have to search you. Once I find out you don't got nothing on you, then I will let you in with more confidence. Then I don't even need the gun.
No,
because you're outnumbered here.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying if you're by yourself, you need the gun.
It probably just needs a mandatory checkup. Like, I had to search you up and down, and that's the rules.
Yeah, butt naked, everything.
Oh shit!
Because there's no risk.
You got to do a prostate exam.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
That's the only way you're coming in, motherfucker.
I don't know, but when I think about it, I'm like, it does seem like we have went a long way. It seems like everybody is antisocial now. I feel like I hear more people saying they're what do they call that?
A homebody?
Introverts?
Oh yeah, introverted. Yeah, some shit like that.
Extrovert.
Extrovert
is when you're like
outgoing.
I think so, right? And introvert is when you're like to yourself. It seems like that's more common now than it was back then because there's no trust nowadays.
But I feel like being alone is I think being alone is underestimated.
Well, I think there's benefits of being alone, but I also think that man is not meant to be alone. And it says that in the Bible.
Okay, yeah, but I think so too. I think your life will never reach the highest height if you're solo. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of growing that can be done by yourself.
Yeah, but it's like what I think though, because we can say that we are alone, but we're not really alone. Right? Because we have each other. We have our brother. So, I mean, when I think of alone, now I think about the kid who has nobody. You know, because if we go like that, I remember when I went to Mississippi and I was 18 years old and I was there for like 2 months and I didn't talk to nobody there. I was just working. And that's for the first time that it hits you mentally. So I'm like, because I think maybe too because of the work. You were there all day. So, and then you don't socialize with nobody. All you're doing is working. And yeah, I have this money, but I'm working so much, I don't even have time to spend it.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Being alone, there's tears.
I didn't have no tears.
No, there's tears like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
I thought you meant like there's tears, like you're gonna cry.
No,
I didn't cry, but I definitely felt it. And I tell you that I couldn't wait to get back home. And then that's what I imagine, like what prison's like, but worse. right? Because there was nobody trying to get at you or no shit, none of the harsh shit that comes with prison. It was just like, it was basically kind of like isolation.
And it's just work, freaking sleep.
Yeah, work, sleep,
Sleep, shit.
And that's why I'm like,
shit.
that's why even when we talk to Junior about how he's working, all the time, I'm like, man, that sucks. That sucks hella bad to be working, but it's man shit. That's man shit he's doing, because you have to do what you have to do to provide for your family. That's why I respect it and I commend him. I told him, because it's not easy, and yet to do it, and it's like to do it all the time for years. That fool got years of that, and it's like, well, it just in my head, I'm like, you got to do what you got to do because you got a family, you know. But I guess everybody just has their thing that you have to do. But it sucks because that's not normal. You shouldn't have to work like that. People would say you shouldn't have to work 40 hours a week, let alone 100 or whatever he's working.
People say that, especially in America, right? There's no way that any job, doesn't matter what the fuck you do, it doesn't. If you're working a 40-hour week and doing anything, and you live in the U.S., there should be no reason why you aren't able to pay your bills, right? Pay your bills to live, pay everything for your family that's taken care of, and have a little bit left over, right? It's not. They're saying that that's not unrealistic, right? That because America's the most wealthiest country in the world. And how it's crazy how people are still work like 2 jobs just to get by.
Because and then the prices keep going up. The dollar keeps going down. Now you spend like $200 and you look at your groceries and it's not a lot.
I know it ain't shit. And people who have big families, who are living in low income households, like in order for like Thanksgiving, and they still be coming up with some like good, like they make it work, and it's impressive to be able to raise that many kids, but they work their ass off, huh? They work multiple jobs, and it just seems like something needs to be done as far as like education, or something needs to be done somewhere in order to curb people who live in low income households, at least for the percentage wise, it needs to shrink significantly. And I'm not sure how it's done. I have no idea. I just know that there needs to be more focus on that.
What's lower class?
So I think
the range?
I think there's 3 tiers, right? The upper class, middle class, and lower class, right? And I think anything under 30,000 a year is considered
poverty,
lower class. Yeah. I think poverty is like under 20. I want to say,
like my dad was managing off of 20 grand, 24 grand, so around there, with 5 kids.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's why when that happened, it's almost like I seen the impossible be possible. And that's why it's like, in my head, it left me to no worries with my life. Because I was like, if my dad could do all this as one man, I could do it too, because I'm his son. And I should have no problems. So it eliminated worry from my head. But like,
because you see it's possible.
But like the poorest time our family has been through, because it goes poorer the more you go back. But our family, right, would have to be what? The ranch?
Yeah. Yeah, because my dad was making like 2 something a week or some shit like that. And we 5 kids.
And we didn't have no TV, nothing. And it's crazy.
My dad used to borrow. I remember he would ask, like people, I remember my dad told me one time he had company over, and it's like a Mexican. I'm sure this is just common in every race, but it's big in like being a good guest or a good host. Is a big priority in Mexican households. So if you have people over, you're always supposed to give them something to drink or offer them food. And I remember he said that he had company over and they didn't have no tortillas. So he asked homeboy that came over hey, let me borrow some money so I can, we can go get some tortillas so we can eat. And and then homeboy said, I ain't got no money either.
Damn.
So then, so no, nobody got no money for tortillas, and I guess it's puro frijoles then with a spoon.
Yes, that's why. Like, I mean, coming from early days, like basically when we were poor, I was young, so I didn't. You as a kid, you don't know you're poor. So it's like, but as I grew up, more money started coming in. So I didn't really notice that we were poor until you're grown and you look back or you see the pictures, and you see the pictures of our sisters wearing boy clothes because my mom didn't know mom couldn't get money to enough money to buy clothes from like Target. And even the troubles of an immigrant, when you hear mom's like, I don't even know where to buy clothes. That's why it's like, it's crazy when you have the mindset of like, I'm going to do what I got to do. And you're going to go to wherever you have to go to get it done.
Yeah. And I remember that she said their first experience, they went to JCPenney and they seen how much money was clothes here in the US. And she's like, we can't afford this. How it's like $40 for a shirt or pants. She's like, oh, this is too much money. And I remember she told me also that when the first place they went to, like coming here into the US, the first place they went to eat was Burger King. And she said that the burger was so tasty. And this was in the 80s. No, yeah. This was in
the 90s.
93, 92, 93-ish. And she said that Burger King's burgers were hitting back then. And now I think now it's a different story, but just to come to an English speaking country, not speaking English, and just having to figure out where to go to buy food, where to go to buy clothes, and then how to enroll your kids in school, right? And then learn how to drive, and then go take your exam and take a driving test and all that. Luckily, California has always been a big Spanish speaking state, so it wasn't as difficult as one would think. But there is times where I'm sure they had to like figure out like doctor's appointments. And I remember my mom taking our oldest sister to translate. And she was like 5 or 6. And she would take her to go and translate whenever they needed to go to the doctor to get medication for anything. And you think about kids. I think the reason why we didn't really realize we were poor is because the internet wasn't a thing. You can't compare your lives to any other kid out there. It's just your life. And you don't have no perspective as far as wealth.
You just think this is life.
Yeah, this is it. And because as a kid, you find joy in a lot of things, especially you're outside a lot.
Yeah.
Playing with swords or water guns or
playing with dirt and shit.
Yeah.
Riding bikes or whatever you can get. So it's like, I mean, it's really like, when you really think about it, that's why my mom's a soldier and my dad is as well, with what they've been through. And it's like, another example is when, as a baby, I had asthma and I was dying to the point where the doctor said to my mom, your son's going to die, so get the father, because my dad wasn't there. So my mom called my dad and my dad came, but I had tubes in me and everything. And, my mom was watching me and I had pulled the tube out myself as a baby. I had pulled the tube out, and my mom seen that I pulled the tube out, and my mom didn't speak English. She came and she looked everywhere. She was telling them, nobody was listening to her. So she went and she grabbed the nurse. She said she grabbed the nurse and brought her so she can see me, so she can get help. And mom said that the girl was looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, get off me, whatever. And mom didn't care. She grabbed her and she showed him, look. Until she seen, the baby did have the thing out, which was me. And then they went to get the doctor. And I remember my dad was yelling at the doctor. He was saying, this is your fault. Like, you should save him. Right? And it's like, I mean, I can't imagine as a parent, somebody telling you your kid's about to die. He's not going to make it. And he's in the hospital, right? You're in the place where this is what we're supposed to save you. But I mean, I understand that sometimes it's just not going to work, right? Sometimes you're going to lose them, but I ended up not dying. So it's crazy. That's why I say, like, I was probably like meant to die like 2 times. and I didn't die, I always say, like, it's interesting to me. Right? Because mom said I was purple. Mom said I was like full purple. And I don't know. But it's interesting, like the things you will do as a parent, huh?
Yeah, because you have to. You can't just sit there and not do nothing.
And I just realized that nobody is gonna have your best interest at heart.
No.
I used to have more faith in doctors and trust them more because I'm like, you're the medical professional. You went to school for this. You obviously know more than me. And over years, being in the doctor with my brother or with me, I've realized that some of them don't know shit. Like, not shit. That's probably like a wrong thing. But some of them are still learning, so they don't know fully. And sometimes they're guessing and shit. So it's like, and it makes me think, you can't trust nobody. You have to get second opinions or third opinions.
And it doesn't seem right for them to be guessing when you're paying so much money. Shit's so expensive, and medication's so expensive. And then they hit you with, well, let's try this. Oh, well, let's try this. And then they hit you with, because I went to maybe like 3 years ago, right? Because I had just gotten healthcare for the first time, right? I was eligible through work, and you pay so much a month or whatever. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I finally got healthcare, so let me go like get my blood work done, see if I don't need it, like actually get a doctor and do all that shit. And then you go there, the lady just like touches you up, pats you down, right? Checks your heart, smacks you in the butt a little bit. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, you're good. You're healthy. Don't worry about nothing. You're good. Right. And your blood work came back. Everything's where it needs to be, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to get my nose fixed. So she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, so I can only breathe through one nostril. So obviously that's not normal. So what do we do? Right? Because she's a doctor, so she should know, right? So then she's like, okay, well, I believe that. So she looks at it, right, with the little freaking thing in your nose, boom, boom. She's like, I believe it looks inflamed. She's like, what do you do for work? Right? And I'm like, oh, I work on cars. She's like, okay, it's probably dirt and like, go get some shit and like rinse your nose out, whatever, clean it out, whatever. So I did that. Didn't fix nothing. She's like, I think it's allergies. I'm gonna do blood work and see if you're allergic to anything. Not allergic to shit. And all this shit is just me paying, right? Every time I go, I'm paying so much money.
But maybe that kind of does make sense to, because it's almost like troubleshooting. You don't want to just go straight to the surgery.
Yeah, and I know.
I think they tell you no when certain things. When I told them I wanted to get my vitamins checked, get my blood drawn, and he said, we don't do that. Well, who does it then? And how can I get it done?
Yeah.
How I told him, he's like, what? Why? He's like, why? He's like, why do you want to do that? And I was like, because I'm interested to see if I'm deficient in anything, so that way I can supplement it or do whatever I need to do to get right. And he's like, well, normally we don't do that. Like nobody comes like in and asks for that. He's like, when we do stuff, it's just for, he's like, you're in your blood drawn, the normal one that we do, I think he said it does show, I think your vitamin D, I think he said, but it won't show nothing else. So he didn't, that was it. He wouldn't tell me nothing. He didn't tell me, we don't do that here, but I know where you can get it done. He didn't tell, maybe he doesn't even know.
But it's why would it matter? Like if it's not like it's like, it's freaking devil shit. Like, oh shit, stay away from that. Why? If somebody comes with a curiosity of like their own well-being, and it's not like it's out of this world. It's like people do it, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't even be in there asking if it was not a thing. So why wouldn't he point you to the right place? Because you would think a doctor would have your best interest as far as health in mind. But it turns out sometimes it's just like there's just a job. They're just trying to get your ass out of there too. But the lady, I wanted to go straight to a specialist because there's people who deal with noses. Then that's their thing, and that's what I wanted to do. But she's like, no, let me see if I can figure it out myself. But I had to pay all this money to her right? Through because my health insurance thing didn't cover everything. So after like $600-800 later, now I'm finally going to the specialist, right? And then I went to the specialist, and then it's another $600 for one visit.
But do you think there's a ruling system, like something that's just like something that a process they have to go through that's not optional, it's just mandatory?
Yeah, but it seems if there is, if it didn't seem that way. It just seemed like she wanted to see if she can find out. But because I had so much faith in doctors, I'm like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She has to. Like, this is her thing. This is her lane. So I didn't question anything. Okay, that's what you think. Boom, let's do it. But after paying so much money and never getting nowhere, I finally went to the specialist, pay the $600. He said, I think you're allergic to this. And I said, they already did the things. I'm not allergic to anything. He's like, I'm going to pull a skin sample. I want to pull a skin sample and send it in, because that's a better way to tell if you're allergic. Like, it's more fine tuned or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. Still not allergic to anything. And then he's like, oh yeah, we're going to have to go, like he wants to put some shit in my nose to get the inflammation in because he said it was inflamed a little bit. He wanted to see if he can get it down and then do some more testings and more medications and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing shit no more. Because I thought it was going to be like, boom, he's going to look in there. You can say, oh,
you need it or you don't need it.
Deviated septum or some shit like that, where the shit's not, it's like the pipe is like there's something in the way of it. So they go in there and they break your nose or adjust it somehow to make it so that you can breathe through there. I thought that's what the solution was from the beginning, because that's from a dude from work told me he had the exact same thing I did. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought it was a common thing. So, but and then I just wanted to go straight to surgery. I told the homegirl,
damn,
take me straight to surgery, start fucking drilling, whatever you got to do. I want to breathe. And she's like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's people I remember one time when I went to the doctor. This was not too long ago. I went to the doctor, and after the visit was over, because every time you go to the doctor, you have to, like, when you get to a new doctor, whatever, you have a new doctor or you go to a new place. And this is when I just got my primary doctor. They wanted to introduce me to everybody. And I mean, so they did. And there's one more person, but she's busy. And he's like, but by the end of the visit, she should be ready. So the visit ended, and he's like, let me go get her, right? Let me go get her, and I'll come back. And I sat there and I waited probably like 30 minutes alone in there, right? The visit's already over. And then it was like 35 minutes maybe. And I was questioning myself, like, when do I say something? Like, it's been 30 minutes. Like, I know people lose patience in 5-10 minutes. I waited longer than I should have. And then I was like, no, I'm leaving. And I got out the door, and then I went and I saw the nurse there, the girl, whatever, I don't know what they're called. And I told her, hey, where's the doctor at? Because he told me he was going to be here. He's going to bring the other girl. And he's like, I'm sure he'll be back. And I'm like, well, I've been waiting like 30 something minutes. And then they're like, oh, well, let me go check. And I'm like, yeah, I told him, because I can't wait no more. I got things to do. And she
30 minutes is too much.
She went, and she brought the dude. And when he seen me, he got hella scared. Like, when he seen me, because he realized.
I forgot.
He's like, yeah. And you could tell he was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I was busy doing something over there and I completely forgot. And I was like, I was here for like 30 some minutes. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry, whatever.
You want to meet the girl still? She's only going to be 5 more minutes.
She did get the girl. She did bring her in. She met her. And at that point, I just wanted to leave. And it's such a bad impression they left on me for my first doctor visit, like with a new doctor. They're going to, like, what do they call that? Like the new, where I was supposed to get my primary doctor. I was the first place.
Yeah, I think 10 minutes is good enough.
Because it seems like I don't.
Minutes,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hella time.
I gave him hella time. And it just seems I have a problem with knowing, like, when should I say something? When should I do this? Sometimes I'm like, I got to be patient, right? Sometimes after a certain amount of time, because I know people who are around me who are not as patient as me. And they would tell me, go say something. And I'll be like, chill. Like, let's wait. Like,
Yeah.
because but sometimes they're right, because sometimes these people forget, or sometimes something happens, and if you don't say nothing, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, I just don't, even though that was 30 minutes, I think it still doesn't warrant to blow up on them.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think-
blow
I-
up
I don't
on them,
think
but
that-
I think we should be like, I think what's a reasonable time frame to be like, hey, I've been waiting 15 minutes.
I think 15 minutes is
Long enough.
I think it's the line. 15 minutes. If shit don't happen in 15 minutes, I gotta bounce, homie.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's not like I'm mad. I'm just like, you lost your chance. Whatever you tried to achieve in a time frame of me sitting there, I gave you 15 minutes. That's a respectable amount of time. If you couldn't do it in 15 minutes, it's not my fault. So I waited. 15 minutes is long enough. The thing about doctor shit is like, you ever seen the commercials? They be prescribing shit for like medication for HIV or whatever it is, and then they hit you with the side effects at the end. Like, it may cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
What the fuck?
That's crazy that's even allowed, huh?
Yeah.
How do you take a drug and then you kill yourself, and that's allowed?
It makes no sense.
I'm not. Maybe because I don't know shit though, but I don't like the idea of taking medicine for everything. I think some things have to be battled with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need medication for certain things, because if you don't learn how to, like, if you live with like anxiety or something, to take medication. I don't have anxiety, so maybe I'm talking like I shouldn't be talking, but it just seems like taking something to lower your anxiety means that you, like, forever.
And I think it's damaging your body in some other way. Like, it might help with this, but it might hurt you with this other thing. Whether it's like,
but I mean, maybe if you have
whatever.
crazy anxiety though, maybe if you have something that where you can't function.
But I feel like it's
maybe,
a handicap. Like, you can't depend on it, because imagine if the world goes to shit, and you're dependent on a medication that you can. I'm not saying something you can't control, something you can't work on.
Yeah, but I mean, I think maybe like if somebody has panic attacks though, stuff like that, and the medication is helping them, I can see why they're like, I need the medication.
I can see
and
why,
they're willing to take whatever comes with it.
Yeah, I can see why you would want it in your life if it makes you feel way better. But the thing is not to say, okay, this is it. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm saying you have to figure out a way that you don't need it anymore. You might need it for. I think that the goal should always be to continue working on it, so that one day you don't need the medication anymore at all. Taking the medication as short term, I think is because it's better than not doing anything.
I think you could take it when it's like when you're having one of those days where this is too much, you know, and you need it, and if it somehow helps you, then yeah. But I don't know. I think it's I feel like it's like hard to talk because we don't have that. So for somebody who has that,
sometimes I'd be wishing I had certain shit. Like,
I wish I could take shit from people.
Yeah.
I wish I could take like the anxiety shit from my niece. She says she has anxiety. I wish I can take it and give it to myself.
And free her of that, huh?
Yeah. Even something is like, what if we could exchange weight? Like,
I thought about that.
If like if one of our relatives who's struggling with weight can give you 15 pounds,
I'll take 50. Give it to me.
And then I'd lose it, huh?
Yeah, no problem. Give it to me.
The only thing about like that I worry about is like, because when you get too big, you stretch. And when you slim back down, you still have those scars, or you have that looseness.
There's a thing for that though. There's I think it's like, cause what's his name? Stay Hard. What's the homie's name?
David Goggins.
Yeah, David Goggins. He was like 300 pounds, and he lost a shit ton of weight, like 80 pounds in like 3 months. And he has 0 stretch marks. And he said that he has a technique for tightening up his skin, tightening it up as he's burning fat, and it's something to do with workouts or somehow he played it. But there's a way to do it, and it's the stretchy skin and all that shit is because you lost a lot of weight in a shorter period of time, like faster than your body could adapt. So I think Now I see why I sometimes I be seeing big people who are lifting weights, women and men, and I'm like I would think that I always thought like, oh, why are they lifting heavy weights? Like you think that you're trying to burn fat, not build muscle. That's what I used to think. But the thing is, I think it helps with your skin as you come down, and it's you're working out your muscles, and it's tightening up your skin. I think that helps with loose skin. I think it does help when you're trying to lose weight. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense now that I think about it. Because I'm not sure 100% if that's what it is.
I mean, I guess because now that you mention it, I don't like David Goggins always fucking running with his shirt off, and you don't see no
stretch marks.
Yeah,
no.
So maybe he was big. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is a way to do it.
There is a way to do it, and then also women. If you see women that have kids, and they have the stretch marks from being pregnant, people use their creams. They use a shit ton of creams all the time, so that when they get back, they don't have no stretch marks, and then they work out so that they keep their shit nice and fit.
That's discipline, huh? If you can have a baby, get big while having the baby, give birth to the baby, and then slim back to where you were at, that's discipline. That's hard, right? So I mean,
and I think it gets harder with age. I think the older you get too, it's just the older you get, the harder it is for you to be as active. Unless you stayed active and never lost it.
Have you ever seen the clips from Power Slap? You know what I'm talking about?
The thing where they're slapping each other?
Yeah.
Clips?
Yeah, like the clips that are online. People get knocked out and stuff. Yeah. Like that. I'm like, I mean, because a lot of people are anti that because they say it's gonna cause brain damage.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's smart. I'm not anti it. Like, don't shut it down. No.
Yeah, that's not me.
That's not me. I just don't think it's a smart move.
Yeah, I don't think it's a smart move to get slapped in the face for money.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're more likely in the future to have problems.
Yeah. And it's not, I feel like it's I don't think it's smart because, and like no disrespect to the people that are doing it. I just feel like you're allowing people to make contact. At least like when you're fighting, the thing is to not get hit. Like that's the thing, not to get hit and to hit them. But when
there's somebody who stops you from getting more damage.
Yeah.
But here you're taking the full power every time.
Yeah.
Until you give up. Until you're unconscious.
And I seen some of the faces.
And it's swollen,
swollen like a motherfucker. And I'm like, it's just like it's not worth it.
But maybe there's people who want to do that. Maybe there's just people who want to do that. And it reminds me because I seen this video. I'm going to play it for you. I seen this video of two guys. And their way of competing was pretty interesting to me. And I was like, that's why it makes me think like, maybe there's certain people who need something like that, who just meant for that type of shit, who are going to do it regardless in some way, form. Kind of like the backyard wrestling that people be doing unofficially. But
I feel like I think that's a little different though. I think that's a little different.
But it's like people are gonna do it.
Do you think that we should stop them? Like, you think that someone should be like responsible for these type of people that want to do this type of stuff? Because you're like, is it like you're not a big brother type shit, but like that there's no good that's gonna come out of this in the future.
But I think then you're limiting freedom. But that's remember that conversation we had, if you want to do drugs, you should be able to? It's kind of the same thing because you're damaging your own body. But you should have that choice, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because like,
even if it's negative.
Suicide would it be a crime if there was a way to punish you?
Oh yeah, because they probably would punish you.
They probably would, huh?
Yeah, they probably
but they can't.
Yeah.
What if they're like no burial?
Yeah.
Because it makes me think for those people who do that.
Yeah, that makes no sense, huh? It's crazy because if you do drugs, you go to jail for a long time. If you kill yourself, what do they do?
It's understanding that if you sell drugs because you're damaging communities, you're supplying it. That's understandable. But when you're just a user, you're not hurting nobody but yourself, unless you do shit out of character when you're under the influence and you commit crime. But then it would become into a whole different thing. But this is the video of two guys. Let's watch it because I thought it was pretty crazy.
It's going down, pinky in the brain shit.
Look, this makes me think there's people who are just meant for shit like power slap.
Oh my god. The Raging Bull Challenge.
Look at these guys.
What the
Raging
hell?
Bull Challenge.
This is how they're
So
gonna go at it.
why are they doing this though?
I don't know, to see who got a tougher forehead.
Oh, you going one by one. Squat. I get a shot. Yeah.
Like, see, where did this come out about?
You get a shot, I get a shot.
You're trying to hit the fucking top of your head and knock me the fuck. You think I ain't stupid. Right here's the dome. Right here's a knockout.
The forehead. The
Right
forehead.
here.
Because I seen a clip of this and I'm like, this is crazy. I would never do something like this.
Gino's mad.
Put my head though.
Cause Gino's mad confident and that shit is scary.
If you keep your head up like that, I'm gonna hit your fucking nose.
Gino's mad confident.
Look at this. Oh, man.
Last time we go through that at the same time.
Bruh, these dudes are crazy. Shot for shot.
This is probably some shit that happens. You're just chilling and you're drinking. Watch, look at this.
I guess hold his head. Hold his head.
This is not smart.
No, this is not a
Look.
good idea.
Boom. 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 Boom.
Homie don't want it no more.
Yeah, you could tell he don't want it anymore, huh?
No.
Boy in the grace, like, oh, he realized. He just wants it over. See, he just absorbed an impact now. Oh my goodness. That sounded like something cracked, huh?
Damn. Wow.
That sounded like, I didn't realize that the first time I watched it. That sounded like something might have cracked.
He didn't want it. He should have stopped in.
He should be like, you win.
Yeah, hell no. But it's like then he feels like a bitch if you don't continue.
But like them fools, you don't think he has a concussion?
It's not, well, I mean, you can. But it's
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Who would do this? That's what I'm saying. Maybe there's people who just need power slap. To be hitting each other,
okay, so
like, damn. To be hitting each other like this. Boom. Boom. Let's see if we
ooh,
can.
that one was hard.
Look.
Look, that dude was smacking him with it. Stop.
See that last one, huh? It sounded like a little snap in there. Don't what? Like, you know, so isn't that the point?
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that. But then it's like part of me is like the bad person in me is like, this is funny. It's kind of entertaining. It's kind of funny. Like, would I rather not this never be created? Part of me is like, no, this is funny, so it should be.
What if
created.
this was what if this was a new power slap? Forehead champion.
That's even worse.
FC. FC.
Forehead champion?
Forehead. Yeah. World forehead champion. WFC. And people are just bam, bam. Like the imagine.
It's way worse.
Would that be enough?
That'd be way worse.
You had to shut that down?
I'd be like, hey, I don't know if we gotta protect people how dumb they are. I don't know if but it's like, I don't think you shouldn't do that. You're gonna fucking
Have
shit
the
up.
title of world forehead champion, and they put the title on your forehead.
No, I don't think that's. I think that's.
So you
worse.
think you'd have to stop that?
It seems like it would be the logical thing. Like,
Would you
protect
watch
people. Like, is it not the government? Is it? I don't think it's the government's. The government shouldn't be responsible to protect the people from dumb
Themselves?
shit. Yeah, right. I don't think so. I think if you're dumb enough to do shit, then you're gonna have to live with the consequences.
So if there was a pay-per-view for the forehead champion,
I would watch the first one.
you'd watch it? You don't think you could watch a full pay-per-view? Five, like UFC?
I mean, I would legally stream it for sure.
There's two dudes, bam, bam, bam. And then how do you do that? Well, you has to be weight classes, right? Or head size?
There had to be something. It probably would be weight.
That sounded like it's something cracked. Huh.
It's just bang, bang. And then they tag team each other, huh? Tag team, they tag in and tag out. Or they just get 4 guys and they're just, all 4 of them are banging their heads together. Bang, bang, bang. Like, what the hell? It's entertaining. It's funny, but It's not good for them.
Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.